Hi everyone, today I am going to talk about a question and or statement that I get quite a lot, which is why or how do you not have cat butts or blowouts, or you're going to have cat butts or a blowout, which I don't. I just don't. Because I have stretched unsafely, if that's a word. My stretching has been unsafe. It has been super quick, and it's just been reckless self-endangerment the entire time. Obviously, if you have watched any of my videos, they don't go by the rules of how ear stretching should work, and I have kind of just breezed by safe and sound without any terrible complications or any consequences of bad stretching technique. And today I would like to share with you how I was able to stretch my ears in such a short amount of time from nothing to half an inch and have perfectly healthy earlobes without cat butt or a blowout. First things first, I didn't have my ears pierced until I was 14 years old, and then after that I took them out because I got them done at Claire's and it was just not a good thing. And around 15 or 16, something like that, I got them redone at a doctor's office, which was even worse because she used like plastic earrings with like a piercing gun, and I don't know. And then that didn't work out. Then I had to get them re-pierced again. So I had my first holes pierced 3 times, and I think like this year I had it pierced 4 times because, you know, we didn't know any better back in the day, and that's just how it was. And I have some scarring like around my ear where the old holes were. I think it was, I can't remember, but on one of my earlobes you'll see like a random piercing scar that's like all the way down here, like at the edge of the earlobe, because the doctor who pierced my ear was a fucking retard. And she was like, no, it looks fine, when one was like in the center and one was like all the way down. So angry. Anyway, after that, I decided to have those earrings, and then when I moved into the city for college, I went to a piercing shop, like a tattoo shop, and then got actual jewelry in my ears. So I had 16 gauge, like, captive bead rings or something like that. And then everything was just 16 gauge from the tattoo piercing shop after that. Now, as a child, I didn't think that stretched ears were for me. I thought they looked cool, but I thought that I would look stupid. But by the time I was in my late 20s, I decided that I was an adult and that I, you know, should just do whatever I want. And honestly, it doesn't even matter at this point. This is probably like a midlife crisis decision. You can check my old videos for when I started. But I started and I figured I would go really small, and if I didn't like it I could just take it out and it would shrink back, and I just kept going and going and going. Originally I went to 0, and then I went to double 0. Now I'm at a half, and now I'm contemplating going to 3/4, and then I really feel like I should stop. Like an inch would be ridiculous. But I did my research. I decided that waiting all that time was just silly, and ain't nobody got time for that. So I just went about doing it the way that I felt was appropriate for me, which was waiting at least 2 weeks if it was like a big size, and then taping my eyelet to go to the next size, and just going and going and going. So those videos were actually posted really far apart from each other, but in reality they were all filmed about like 2 weeks apart or something like that. And when I stretched the second time, it only took like 2 months or something because it just went so fast. Now, my entire time, people have been telling me that I'm gonna like hurt my ear or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Which, yes, it is a real concern. It is a real possibility, but all you have to do, and this is not advice for anybody, but all I did was just listen to my body. Whenever I stretched, when I was trying to push the taper through, if it wasn't going through easily, I wouldn't force it. There were no bloody tissues. There were no like bleeding and swelling. There was like swelling a little bit, I think the first time, because I was just stupid. But no infection, nothing. And then when I did push it too far, and I did have like, and it was too tight to go through, and I actually put it in anyway, it didn't hurt really, but it was a little uncomfortable. And every single time what I would do is I would put the plug in, and then I would flip my ear around to look at the back. And then if I couldn't see it like this, I would get a mirror and I would put it behind me so I could look at the back of my ear. And if I saw a little lip starting to form in the back of my ear, I would take the plug out right away. Because to me, that is the beginning of a blowout. That was me pushing the inside of my earlobe to the outside, and blowouts are gross. My biggest nightmare, not gonna happen. So what I would do, along with taking the plug out right away, is to put the plug in backwards so that the flare would be sitting on the back of my ear and the back of the plug would be on the front. So that way the flare would be pushing the skin back into the center of my ear, and I would put the O-ring on super tight just for an hour to overnight, and then I would take the plug out and put a smaller one in. If your ear isn't ready to go up in size, you should not force it. Like, I don't care how fast you want to stretch. If you can stretch from nothing to like a 0 gauge in a day, go for it. Sure, know your risks, but also know that if your ear's not ready and you push it, you will have consequences. But if your ear is ready and you want to go from nothing to 0 gauge in a day, by all means, go do it. Just because your body is super ready and your ears are extra stretchy doesn't mean that you have to follow the guidelines set out by, body piercers for stretching. Obviously, everybody should follow those guidelines, but not everyone's going to do it. So if you're going to break the rules, at least break the rules in the most responsible, safe way that you can. Always listen to your body. When your ear's not ready, your ear's not ready, and you just have to chalk it up to waiting. But if your ears are ready, go ahead. Who cares? Do whatever you want. Like stretch up multiple sizes in a week. I went from 6 gauge to 1 gauge in 6 days, and I was fine. And then I think 2 days later, I went from 1 gauge to 0 gauge. So it really doesn't matter. But what does matter is you having really beautiful naked lobes, because nobody wants to look at your gross ass blowout, because that just shows that you're not patient and you're immature and you don't know how to listen. And guys, especially when you're talking to girls who also have stretched ears, who also don't have cat butt and blowout, shows a lot about your personality. And what I've learned is look at someone's stretched ears before you talk to them, especially if you're interested in them. And if they have ugly stretched ears, it shows you a lot about their personality, and you need to run far and fast if they have either of those two things going on with their ears. Because if they can't treat themselves right, how do you think that they're going to treat you? That's a weird segue, but I'm just saying that's what I've noticed. And I continue to use that to this day as an indicator of whether I should talk to someone or not. To close, I'm just going to take my plug out to show you my ear. The thumbnail is also my ear naked, but here it is. And here's the back. Left side, the finicky side. Here's my ear. And here's the back. Just a reminder, the last time I stretched my ears, I went from nothing to 1/2 inch in 2 months. And these are the result of my second re-stretch. And my first stretch, I went from nothing to 1/2 inch in less than a year. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I will see all of you later. Bye!